Maybe we'll mix up. West Virginia's got nothing to lose. Come on, y'all. See, my old man's got a fry. He's in the battle, it's so he said his body's so old. Body's too young, looking like me. So mama went off and left him. Wonder what from life then he could give. I said, son, he's got to take care of him. Back to school and so down. Try something. I know we're all in here.
Listen, love mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. I didn't know what you know. I'm gonna let it shine. I didn't know what you know. I'm gonna let it shine. I didn't know what you know. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Only Satan goes down. I'm gonna let it shine.
That's right.
Only Satan goes down. I'm gonna let it shine. Only Satan goes down. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, let it shine. Jesus comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light mine. This little light mine, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 let it shine. This little light mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine.
This is Little Light of Mine. Intro 2, 3, 4. This is Southern Railway 4501 calling musician Miss Erin Keith and Miss Lindsay Barnett. Please serenade my departure from Grand Junction with your rendition of This Little Light of Mine. 4501 out. Everyone say bye, 4501. Off they go. Woohoo! Woo-hoo! Wow! Here it comes. The Missionary Rich Local's coming. Here comes the train. Conductor two.
Attention museum guests. The Missionary Rich Local is now arriving. We invite you on the platform to watch the arrival. For your safety, please on all tracks and behind all yellow lines.
Here it comes.
Children with you, please take them by the hand at this time. Do not get checked in or put your
Well, here we go.
All aboard! Go on the rim, folks! On the rim!
There you are. All right. Let's see.
Put your arms off the ground. But I tell you, I want that whole section. We read for a couple minutes. So
By the way, though?
I'll just have it very quick.
Cool, I'm gonna get him an extra large. Alright, we'll see you, Curry. Bye. 100 drop out the DRF double rank flag, proceed.
All aboard. Oops. We can't leave Eli behind.
Alright, here we go. We're ready.
Eyeball. Here we go. And away we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Missionary Ridge Local here at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Well, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Eli, and I will be your historian and tour guide for you on our journey today. First of all, what we are getting ready to do is we are getting ready to use what is known in the world of railroading as a Y. Now, a Y in the world of railroading is basically a large three-point turn which our engineer is going to use to turn our entire train around.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now heading out of our display yard and we are heading towards East Chattanooga. Now, along our journey, we will be riding alongside some of the first railroads that were built here in the Chattanooga area, including several railroad bridges and our Whiteside Tunnel, which we will pass through right before we arrive in East Chattanooga. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to pass over the very first railroad that was built here in Chattanooga, known as the Western and Atlantic Railway. This was originally built as a freight line to connect the cities of Terminus, Georgia to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Here comes Allied Metals. Yep, that train was actually used for a day out with Thomas. There's the University Series cars from there's 3170. Oh, look, we're about to cross Tunnel Boulevard. Oh, you know what's next? That's right, Whiteside Tunnel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just passed over Tunnel Boulevard, which means we are about to pass through Whiteside Tunnel. This is a pre-Civil War era tunnel that was completed in 1858. Built over the span of about 2 years. Yeah, in just a minute, buddy. This tunnel is about 3 football fields in length, being about 986 feet long. And this tunnel is the main reason why the Southern Railway would eventually abandon this line as their main line in 1954, because back then this was a double-tracked main line, while this tunnel is a single portal tunnel, or rather a single-track tunnel. And this often caused for a lot of traffic problems, especially during World War II, where there were many freight trains going back and forth on this main line each and every day.
Alrighty, folks. That was the
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our engineer is blowing the horn of our locomotive, letting us know that we are approaching the tunnel. I do
There it
encourage you to
is.
get your phones out and have your flashlights on so that you will be able to see just how close the walls of this tunnel are to our train. You will be able to see that in some parts there is only about 12 to 15 inches of clearance between us and the tunnel walls. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to experience a pre-Civil War era tunnel going right through Missionary Ridge. Ladies and gentlemen, Whiteside Tunnel.
In the words of Dinosaur Train, time tunnel approaching, folks. The tunnel is my favorite part. Oh, here it comes. Here we go. Woo! Wow.
Welcome to East Chattanooga. Welcome to our turntable demonstration. This is our 1960 turntable that was built by the American Bridge Company in Ambridge, Pennsylvania. During its years of service and operation, this turntable would operate in the towns of Macon, Georgia and Seaton, Georgia, when it operated for the Central Georgia Railway. Now eventually, we here at TVRN would gain ownership of this turntable, and we've had it running here in our railroad since July 4th of 1982. Now this very turntable used to be a hand-powered turntable back in the 1910s when it was constructed. There would have been about 4 people at a time that would have turned this thing by hand. And this is very impressive because this thing weighs about 80 tons. But what's even heavier than this turntable is actually our 710 locomotive right there, which comes to about 120 tons. So we are in fact about to turn 200 total tons for you folks using our turntable. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to bring 710 onto our turntable, which I will begin telling you about the history of our locomotive. But before that, I want to explain to you how those people back then were able to turn this thing by hand. You see, in the very center of this turntable is where there is a big ball bearing in the very center, and this allows the turntable to have balance, which is why they were able to turn it by hand back then.
Always gravel around the train.
going to be providing him with emotional support because he will be turning this entire thing all by himself. He is actually the strongest man in the world because he is able to turn this entire turntable around with only one finger.
Here comes the engine.
Ladies and gentlemen, these locomotives 17 was originally built for Later on in its life, this locomotive would operate for Amtrak for a while. And it would continue to operate for Amtrak until eventually we here at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum would gain ownership of this very diesel locomotive right here. And in 2004, we would return this locomotive to its original appearance as it would have appeared in 1950 in this first model. We would return it to its original vehicle, its steam convenience in the Tennessee Valley Railway, and we would also return it to its original number, 17. Since its restoration and new paint job, it has been an important part of our vast fleet of many different types of diesel locomotives here at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our back shop here at East Chattanooga. Inside this very building is where most of the restoration work on our equipment takes place. Now, we have restored quite a few things here in our back shop, including our two famous steam locomotives, the 4501 and the 630. The 4501 was recently just right here where you can see this pit right here, and we just got done painting it as if we had looked back in the 1960s when it operated for the Norfolk Southern excursions that it was doing with the Norfolk and Western locomotives, 611 and 1218. Now, while we're on the subject of steam locomotives, would any of you like to take a guess at how long it usually took to restore a steam locomotive back in the Golden Age era? Yes, you. Half a day. Well, a little more than that. It usually took about a month or so to restore a steam locomotive back in the 30s and 40s. Now, would anyone like to like to take a guess at how long it can take nowadays? A couple hours? Well, actually, depending on how bad the locomotive is in condition, it can actually take a long time. In fact, our 630 was actually in the back of this shop for a total of 10 years being restored. And now it is actually out of service at the moment. And we are going to have to spend about a 2 to 3 year restoration work on it. So that will be very time consuming and pretty expensive. Now, the reason why I'm telling you about this is because we here at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum believe that it is important that we know our history and that we learn from it. Our motto here is that we like to keep history rolling. We like to show you folks in the newer generations the equipment that changed the history and the progression of our country. And in fact, this equipment has affected our country in many ways. Our standard time in this country was actually created in conjunction with our operating railroad systems. And still to this very day, our railroads are still affecting how we do things here in America. They are the very backbone of America's economy. So considering these things, we have been affected, and we still are being affected by our railroads in several major ways. So with all this being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed my spill of history to you today. My name is Eli, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Alrighty, folks, we are now inside the vestibule. All aboard. Let's go. Here we go. Wow. Here we go. This is great. We're riding the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum's Missionary Ridge Local. And we are now departing East Chattanooga. Now, departing East Chattanooga, you can see a couple of equipment, including this little engine. go again. Alrighty, folks, we're about to approach Whiteside Tunnel again. There's the tunnel. So I've been a member of the Tennessee Valley Road Museum for quite a while now. And I've renewed it every year. Woo! Just feel the wind. Now don't forget, we'll be back tonight to ride the Evening Ridge Runner. I don't think I'll make a video because it's basically the same thing as the way up, as this ride. But I will get some content out, so yeah. And I've been on this train very much, so much, that I know the whole route by heart. Yeah. I just love the Tennessee Valley Road Museum. Now, I'm going to start talking now, so you can see a 1950s era locomotive pulling pre-1950s era equipment on a 3 miles of former East Tennessee and Georgia Railroad main line. This is the Tennessee Valley Road Museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee. For more information, visit tvrail.com, or you can call them at 423-894-8028. Now, this video is not sponsored by the Tennessee Valley Road Museum, but since I am a longtime member and friend of the museum, I pretty much get to do all this. We're about to pass Satellite Meadows. University cars. From the Norfolk and Western. By 5,000. Southern Railway 5,000. Yes, this is Rhett Robinson coming to you live from on board the Missionary Ridge Local train ride. And we are now about to approach McCarty Siding, where we're about to meet the lunch train. Just passing under the CSX main line, former Western and Atlantic main line. The Western and Atlantic Railroad was famous for the Great Locomotive Chase, where on April 12, 1862, a group of Union Jack spies hijacked a locomotive called the General. We're just stopped here, so this is real railroading at its finest. We are on schedule here. What he's doing is he is setting the switch for us to go in. If we would have kept going, we would crash right into 5,000. So while the lunch train sits on the main line, we're going to pull into the siding. Yeah, there are so many trains running today. Here we go. Let's move over to this side so we can see the train as it goes by. We're at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee, riding the Missionary Ridge Local. And tomorrow, we'll ride the Bryson City, Brace Smoky Mountains Railroad train. Stay tuned for that, coming up tomorrow. There's 5,000. Woo! Woo! Wow. This is the Clover Colony. This car was built in the 1920s. I found it. This is great. Wow! Haven't seen this car before in operation. Really nice. This is cool. There it goes. Now it's our turn. That track over there is the Tyner Terminal Railroad, which is operated and leased to CSX. While we're in the siding, just while we're waiting, let me tell you a little bit about the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Whoop. The Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum was founded in 1961 by a group of local volunteers who were desperate to see the passing of locomotives and freight trains. Huh? Why are we backing up? We're backing up. I think we're gonna get back on the main line. Wow. Oh, look! Looks like there's a high railer. There's a high railer coming. Now, what she's doing, she is now switching the switch back. Here we go again. Off we go. we are now passing McCarty Siding now. Next up, Grand Junction. Here we go. Wow. That's the high water mark of the flood of 1867. You see, that gravel road down there is the original 1859 right-of-way. The line was elevated to its current height in the first half of the 1900s, and the first half of the 20th century, due to flooding. And with that, we are now approaching Grand Junction. Here we are. Wave to the people! Hi, Paris! Here comes 606. Former Milwaukee Road, SW 1200.
Ridge Runner here at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. My name is Eli, and I will be your historian and tour guide for you along our journey this evening. First of all, what we are getting ready to do is we are about to use what is known in the railroading world as a Y, that is spelled W-Y-E. A Y is basically a large 3-point turn for a train, which our engineer will be using to turn our entire train around in just a few moments. Once we have turned around using the Y, we will begin moving forward towards our destination of East Chattanooga. Along our journey to East Chattanooga, we will be passing alongside some of the first, or rather some of the locations where some of the first railroads were located here in the Chattanooga area, including also passing over several railroad bridges and passing through Whiteside Tunnel.
Back we go. Onward!
Someone with their glasses.
Huh?
I said as someone with their sunglasses.
Are you sure they're not yours?
No, they're not.
Oh. And away we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now leaving our display yard and we are heading out towards East Chattanooga. Now, if you look to the left of our train, you can see a gravel driveway down there. This gravel driveway is actually where one of the first railroads to be built here in Chattanooga was located originally. Back in the 1850s when it was first constructed, this was known as the East Tennessee and Georgia Railway, which would eventually become the Southern Railway. And in the 1890s, the Southern Railway would decide to remove their original rail line down there and relocate a new main line up to where we are today. The track that we are using, that we are riding alongside, that we are riding on this evening, was once the main line of the Southern Railway. That is until 1954, when they would abandon it due to reasons I will get to later along our journey. The reason why they removed that original rail line down there that was built in the 1850s was because back before the construction of the Chickamauga Dam took place in the Great Depression, the Chattanooga area was extremely prone to flooding. There were several major flooding events that would happen here in Chattanooga, including the Great Flood of 1867, where the high water mark of that flood was an entire 9 feet above the rail line down there. In total, the high water mark rose an entire 58 feet above the regular water level of the South Chickamauga Creek, which we just passed over. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are passing over the very first railroad to be built in Chattanooga, or into the Chattanooga area, that being the Western and Atlantic Railway, being built back in the 1830s, originally built as a freight line between the cities of Terminus, Georgia, known today as Atlanta, to Chattanooga.
Passing Allied Metals.
now that we have passed over Tunnel Boulevard, we are making our approach to Whiteside Tunnel. We will be passing through a pre-Civil War era tunnel that was completed in 1858. Built over the span of about 2 years between 1856 and 1858. It was primarily built using only shovels and picks, since dynamite would not be invented until 1867. This tunnel is 986 feet long. That is almost the same length as 3 entire football fields, going right through the Missionary Ridge. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to experience a 986-foot tunnel, feet of pre-Civil War era tunnel right through the ridge. Ladies and gentlemen, it will soon be tunnel time in Tennessee. We are about to go around Hunziker Curve, to which our engineer will blow the horn, letting us know of our approach to Whiteside Tunnel. Something else I almost forgot to mention is that this tunnel is actually the main reason why the Southern Railway would abandon this line as their main line in 1954, because this was a double-track main line back then, with the exception being Whiteside Tunnel, which is a single track, or rather a single portal tunnel. This often caused for a bottleneck of railroad traffic, especially during World War II, where there were many freight trains going back and forth on this rail line. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard the horn of our locomotive being blown by our engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is tunnel time in Tennessee.
Or, in the words of Dinosaur Train, time tunnel approaching, folks.
That's right, buddy.
You've seen that show before?
Yeah, I used to watch that all the time.
Man.
I mean, you probably grew up watching the comics when you did.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now emerged from the other side of Missionary Ridge, and we are approaching East Chattanooga. Before we arrive here in East Chattanooga, there are a few rules I must go over with you for your own safety. First and foremost, this is a guided tour, so please stay with your guided group. Please do not wander off into gravel areas. Please stay 3 feet back from the rope barrier at our turntable, and please do not stand or climb on any of our railroad equipment. Thank you for hopefully listening. stay there in Crane, Indiana for a while until eventually we here at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum would gain ownership of it from the U.S. Navy. When we brought it here to TVRM, we would give it a nod to its original Milwaukee Road paint scheme and also giving it our own TVRM paint scheme. And ever since then, it has become a part of our
Alrighty, folks, we're off. Alrighty, folks, we are now heading back to Grand Junction.
Eight more miles on this old road, I'll never know you. I knew someday that I'd be there on the start. 8 more miles to be there.
Yeah, I just met them. I just met them. All right. And they were out of the guidebook, but they gave me this instead.
I look down and see this, she's long and she's tall. She's the kind that you can't find traveling through the road. I thought my baby's buried in her heart. picture in my mind, a place we call home. Humble little shack to everyone roam. The place is right at that left side as most the grass does. Where gently flows the Ohio by a place called Greenville. 8 more miles in the weekend, come on to the run. 8 more miles in the summer, I used to live, I go back, live from the start. It does pretty bad all the time.
Alrighty, folks. It's just about time for us to go. It is currently 10 o'clock. Yeah. Switch. Up. And away we go. This is Great Smoky Mountains Railroad 1702 calling musician. Please serenade my departure from Bryson City with your rendition of This Little Light of Mine. 1702 out. Here we go. Right on schedule.
We started seeing each other in 1978. Years.
You might got to turn it down. Don't answer my last look right now. We'll talk about it later.
I played the fifth. That'd be fun to ride in. We just came to the conclusion we've got enough time to train in new people, so we're both too stubborn to quit. So
We're on the Nantahala Gorge excursion at the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad.
I want to let her win. Let me win.
May 24th, 2026.
Stalemate.
Here we go. Eyeball, Bryson City, North Carolina. Wave to the people. Here we go.
Here's our people. Ladies and gentlemen.
morning, boys and girls. Good morning. Welcome aboard. Great Smoky Mountain Trail Race here aboard the excursion. Today we'll have 1.5 hours and be a 44-mile round trip along the Boston Race and next to the National Board. We're top race for today. We will show our safety regulations with you. We also please keep your heads and arms to the end of the last break all the time. Especially what safety and our percent
Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Great Smoky Mountain Railroads and at the Haley Gorge Excursion. A couple of things I want to share with you guys. We started to make our way out of town.
At all times, please remain in your assigned passenger car. No wandering around through the train, no hanging out in other cars, no loitering in the vestibule areas where you boarded this morning. Only exceptions to this are if you're searching for a nearby restroom in a neighboring car or making your way down to the Conductor's Cafe, which is now open for business. Conductor's Cafe has an assortment of cold drinks, hot food items, as well as other snacks and merchandise. If you did not pick up your pre-purchased box lunch at the depot this morning, this will be where you get those as well. You're seated in our crown class of service, that being the Royal Palm and the Piedmont today. You'll be walking backwards in our direction of travel. And if you're in our coach class, that being the Balsam Range through the Whittier, you'll be walking forwards. If you have any other questions today, please let any member of the staff know, or myself. My name is Gavin. I'll be the conductor in charge of the train today, along with my rear brakemen, Mark, Samuel, and Durham. In the meantime, folks, just sit back, relax, and welcome aboard.
Alrighty, folks, to add to that, we are on a moving vessel, so we'll shuffle back and forth and we'll rock side to side to make sure that we're holding something as we're walking through the car. If I end up in the floor, it's okay. If you guys end up in the floor, it's a lot of paperwork and I don't know how to read, so that's going to be a real problem. On top of that as well, like you said, we do have restrooms. There's one right here at this end of the car. There's another one at this end of the car. There's two behind me, and then there's one in front of me as well. They are like airplane restrooms. They're air powered, so make sure that you shut the lid and then hold the button for a couple seconds till you hear it flush, and then we're all peachy and good to go. Third thing, and most importantly, anyone that's under the age of 18 or 16 needs to be accompanied by an adult when moving between rail cars. We don't want anyone tripping and falling. You need to step over the vestibule and not in it, because it will shift and we don't need anyone losing their footing. So make sure you step over in between the two cars and not on it. And to add what Conductor Gavin said, we will go through some tight areas across some bridges today, so make sure we keep everything inside the train car that we came here with today. Hats, sunglasses, cell phones, arms, hands, legs, all that good stuff. We want to take it home with us, so keep everything inside the car, please. Other than that, it'll be a good trip, about 44-mile round trip today. We'll be back sometime this afternoon.
Alrighty, folks. We have just left Bryson City. We're smoking up for 1702, calling musician. Please serenade my crossing of the Tuckasegee River with your rendition of I've Got Peace Like a River. 1702 out. Round and round.
Round and round, the wheels on the train go round and round. All day long. The conductor on the train goes.
All aboard! All aboard! All aboard!
The conductor on the train goes.
All aboard!
All day long. Hi, what's up?
Yeah.
The whistle on the train goes.
Woo!
Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Choo choo choo. The whistle on the train goes woo
Yeah.
all day long.
Are you ready? Yeah. The whistle on the train goes. You get it. The whistle on the train goes. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Woo! All day. Good job. The babies on the train go. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. The babies on the train go. Wah, wah, wah. All day
Mommy's on the train go.
all day long. The big kids on the train go. Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? The big kids on the train go. Are we there yet? All day long. The wheels on the train
Train go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the train go round and round, all through the town. Oh. Looks like we're about to go back to the outdoor center.
Ready?
All day long.
Good job. Fantastic. No, moving. Is the train going? Are they pushing us? Oh, they don't have it on. They don't have it on. That's right. Okay. Alright. I have an adult train song too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, I don't have a lead guitar player unless we don't have one, but probably not. But I'm gonna have to do a little something different. Improvisation.
Ooh. Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash.
Rolling around it.
I ain't seen the sunshine since
I don't know when I'm stuck in Folsom Prison.
sometimes you drag it on.
Yeah. But that
Train keeps rolling on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good
Bad
boy.
boys don't get you in trouble. Well, I tried my baby down in Reno. He told me once in a million lies. Watch him die. When I
In my head.
Woo!
Woo!
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.
G, back to C.
Throw it under a bushel.
No!
I'm gonna let it shine. Throw it under a bushel.
No!
I'm gonna let it shine. Throw it under a bushel.
No!
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm fine, okay?
It's alright.
Great. What's that part? Tell me. Words.
Don't let Satan blow it out.
Oh, yeah. Don't let Satan blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let Satan blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine.
That's right.
Don't let Satan blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Ready? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
That's right.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
How long have you been doing this?
This on the train is my 3rd year.
3rd year.
I took a hiatus last summer. I had a baby last summer.
Are you here every day or just sometimes?
Just sometimes. Me and my husband play together too.
Ooh, do you have any kids?
We have one baby. He's 9 months old.
Aww.
Real soon. Alright. Now I know y'all know this song, or I think you know this song. But if you know this song, you have to sing it. I don't make the rules. That's the way it is. It's very American.
Almost heaven. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River.
Yes.
Life is older, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, going like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place that I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home down country road. All my memories gather round her, rider's lady, stranger to the water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country road, take me home to the place that I belong. North Carolina, North Carolina, take me home. Mountain rails, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. And as I travel down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday. Country road.
Take me home to the place I belong, North Carolina. Mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads. Woo!
Thank you so much. Thank you. Glad you have it. It's not crazy. Bye, y'all. Good job, everybody. See you.
Have a good one.
Here's the open air car. I think this is the premium open air car. I believe some of these cars, some of these first few cars are the first class cars, but I'm not sure. Goddamn McNeil. Wow. Then here's the Silver Star. Polar Express. As you can see, we have some passengers still getting off. There's the Harper. Then here's a TCU car. The Royal Palm. Oh look, we're almost at the end. The Piedmont. The Conductor's Cafe. Balsam Range. Our car, the Blue Ridge, then we have some open air cars right at the rear of the train. First off, we have the Fontana.
Oh, so they stopped sooner.
Now, these cars are actually ADA, or Americans with Disability Act. The Wildwater. Gotta go all the way back there. The Jackson. We're almost to the engine. The Whittier. And last but not least, the old caboose. Fun fact, you can actually book a private caboose party right on board the train. Pretty neat, huh? And last of all, the locomotives that pulled us here. Engine 2335. And finally, the F locomotive, the F9 4210.